Do you want to be the best wrestler you can possibly be? And also this goes kind of for every sport. Sometimes things we hear from our family, friends, sometimes even coaches, the things that they're telling us are actually myths. So that is why I teamed up with Eric Pullman and we made a busting wrestling myths video. Now this strictly goes kind of with the training regimen, and this includes the diet and in the weight room. With that being said, let's bust these wrestling myths.
Here are 3 strength and conditioning myths that every wrestler needs to know going into the wrestling season. Hey guys, I'm Eric Pullman. I'm a strength and conditioning coach here at a wrestling club where we train mostly high school and college athletes. And I train wrestlers and grapplers online all over the country and even all over the world. Watch this video all the way through to see where you can improve on off the mat. The physical side of wrestling is so important, and I'm here to help you level up your game. If you have any more questions, anything about what I say in this video, please feel free to reach out. Myth number 1. You shouldn't lift weights during the wrestling season. But won't squatting make my legs too sore so I can't stay in my stance and I won't be able to wrestle to the best of my ability?
I'm not gonna lie, I've said that a decent amount this summer. I said that all the time.
And won't doing presses make my shoulders so sore where I can't hand fight and I can't finish my shots? First things first, let's understand that soreness is not something that you run away from, but it's something that you manage. It's necessary for you to progress in the weight room. It's necessary for you to gain and maintain your strength through the wrestling season.
You know, that does make sense, and I think there is a happy medium of kind of how hard and how intense I guess you should be lifting.
It's a byproduct of what happens when you work your muscles out. It's all about managing what you currently can do, doing that, implementing it in a way that's not going to throw off your body a lot. Don't be concerned with gaining muscle mass because you're lifting. You're going to be in a calorie deficit if you're trying to lose weight, or you're just about maintaining your weight, so your calories won't be increased.
Yeah, I mean, for the weight part, like as long as you're not like eating like a crap ton of food and calories, you're not going to be gaining a substantial amount of strictly muscle mass. You're going to be getting stronger while staying at your lower weight just because that calorie deficit. So I think that's really key, and a lot of especially new, I guess more beginner guys probably wouldn't know that, and that could be a reason why they currently aren't lifting in the wrestling season.
You'll only be lifting 3, 5, maybe 8 sets per muscle group per week, and you're going to be doing hours of cardio per day. So you're going to be a little worn down and not going to be able to lift to your potential. This little bit of lifting isn't going to pack you on a lot of muscle to the point where you can't stay in your weight class. Doing something is better than doing nothing. Myth number 2, stop eating carbs to lose weight. Carbs are your main source of energy for those higher power outputs.
So for me, when trying to lose weight, ultimately I just look at kind of the calorie intake and what I'm eating. I eat, less proportion size, and strictly I do try to stay away from sugars just because, I just think sugars are bad. But I have heard that so many times, and I still see it for some wrestling pages saying to like cut out your carbs and stuff when you're trying to lose weight, but it's simply not the case because carbs are your kind of main energy output.
Your muscles, brain, and body need fuel so they can produce those high amounts of force and power outputs in short periods of time. On the wrestling mat, you'll need carbs to help you score points, and anytime you're in those high intensity scrambles. If you're looking to move fast and be powerful, be explosive, you need carbohydrates. And in the weight room, they're your explosive power movements like your jumps, medicine ball throws, sprints, and most of your lifting sets. Great carb sources can be rice, oats, and those longer lasting carbs when you're farther from your workouts. You could have these at lunch, in the morning, and whatever time it is where you don't need that energy right away. These are going to be the staples in your diet that you have in your meals all the time. And if you're closer to your workout, have those higher sugar carbs like jelly, honey, jams, and anything that's gonna give you that quick boost of energy that you need for practice, tournament, competition, whatever it is.
And that's one thing I actually did a lot in high school. I don't now just because I don't go to grocery stores as much because I want to save my money. Kind of getting like a bagel, which does have a lot of like steady carbs throughout the day, having that before weigh-ins, but adding honey on top of that because of that quick energy source in that honey, those sugars.
If you need to put out a lot of force and output, you need carbs. The third myth in the weight room is that you need to always be doing circuits, getting out of breath, burning out your muscles, and challenging yourself in that way.
Now see, this is one thing that I'm having a tough time understanding, right? Because in wrestling, it's such a hard sport, and practices I feel like are always kind of like this. And even kind of in the weight room, we're always pushing ourselves, and we're keeping up the pace, we're sprinting wherever we're going. So I'm actually curious what Eric's got to say.
You don't need to train to muscular failure, but you do need to make sure that your muscles and your strength is the limiting factor in your sets in the gym. You're constantly working on more of your power endurance, your endurance, and your muscle endurance when you're wrestling all the time. You've just added a ton of wrestling into your training, and those qualities of endurance are going to be worked during your practices. You need to fill in the gaps in your athletic performance and make sure that you're still becoming a full athlete. You're gaining strength, you are maintaining and even gaining muscle for some people, but you need to work on the qualities that you're not getting on the mat. If you need more circuit work, put it at the end of your workout. When you've already worked muscular fatigue, you've worked your strength, and those are the limiters in your lifting sets. If you're constantly out of breath, you're constantly tired, and you're doing those types of training sets in the weight room, you're never going to be truly working your muscles and your strength as well as you can be.
See, now that does make sense to me. That just because if you're always pushing yourself to that failure point in your, conditioning and even your muscles, you're not gonna be getting that same type of explosiveness and better use of your muscles in that certain situation. Yet again, I do think there's a happy medium. I do agree that would be a myth, that so many people are not understanding that sometimes by pushing yourself past your limits constantly is actually detrimental to your ability to gain the best bang for your buck.
Take rest between sets, work on being explosive and powerful, and make that the goal. The goal is to be more powerful, more explosive on the next set, on the next rep. The only way to do that is if you have a full breath. The same thing goes for your muscles and working your strength. There is definitely a place for circuits, extra cardio, extra conditioning. That stuff is needed for you to become the best wrestler you can be. And you can't do all of it on the mat. You're going to need to get some extra work on cardio machines, bikes, and even in those muscular endurance circuits. Just understand that is different from gaining muscle strength and explosiveness.
That's something I especially noticed this year. So I've been lifting so much this past summer, and I've gotten insanely stronger since last year. I mean, just look at that picture. But understanding that strength and kind of your endurance, there are two separate things, and they need to be trained separately.
Those are different qualities to be trained, and they should be separated. You can do them both in the same workout. Just put your explosive, your strength, your muscle work, and then go to your endurance work. Being strong when you're tired is extremely important. Having a great gas tank is extremely important. Being a wrestler means you need different athletic qualities, so you definitely need to train them differently.
Now, as these 3 myths are officially busted, you should lift weights in wrestling season. You can have carbs even if you want to lose weight, and you don't always need to be doing workouts and circuits to get you out of breath and your muscles just burning. If you guys would like to know more wrestling myths to be busted, let me know in the comments. I do want to give a shout out to Eric for busting these myths. And like I said earlier in the video, you can go check out his website and his email linked in the description, and he's got a bunch of dope Instagram content like this if you want to check that out. So thank you guys so much for watching. We are now tied with Flow Wrestling in subscribers, so big round of applause for everyone here on the channel. Thank you guys. We're doing this as a community. Let's pass them. Let's keep passing them. Let's blow them out of the water. Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe. So we'll see you guys next video.